All right, so first play we're going to look at 2nd and 2, one of the Patriots' first offensive plays.
New intro there a little bit. I didn't realize which one I clicked, but I guess it's a longer one. Nice and quick into it, and I like it. I appreciate it. And it is the Patriots Daily Podcast here on Patriots CLNS. As always, Mike Kadlick here. Taylor Kyle's there, back with a mailbag edition of the show. This is the first time in a while, Taylor, I think since before training camp even started, that we're opening up the mailbag for some fan questions. So we took a bunch on Twitter, over on X, loaded them in. So we'll get to those. If you have any more, throw them in the chat. We'll get to as many as possible, as always, over the next half hour or so. And then what we're going to do, like we said, back to normal-ish, is we're going to get Discord going again. So after this, we're going to head over to our Discord channel. If you haven't already joined our Discord, let me just pull it up here so you guys kind of know what to do. Join our Discord server. It should be pinned in the chat. If it's not, find the Patriots the CLNS Media Discord over there, and you can hop in and join and ask questions with us over there as well. So we're going to do that after this. Drop your name in the chat here if you're a verified Patriots Press Pass member, because members are the only ones that can ask questions in Discord. So again, Discord server, the CLNS Media Discord. Head to the Patriots Daily stage after this. And we'll do an additional Q&A with you guys. And again, we can kind of speak to you guys more back and forth in there if you are a member. So join us after that. But first, we're doing it here on the mailbag. But before we get to the mailbag, Taylor, a little bit of Patriots news today. The rivalry jerseys dropped. Yeah. Patriots branded them, talking about them as like a nor'easter. I ranked all 8 of them on SI.com today. I ranked the Patriots dead last. I was not a fan. I thought, while the NE patch on the side was pretty cool, I don't like that the light blue is like nowhere near any other Patriots colors. It was kind of bizarre, but I know you're not, the showy uniform guy. You're the tape guy, but what do you make of the jerseys? Do you like them? Do you not like them? And should they maybe have given them another try?
So they were fine.
Okay.
I like the New England font on the shoulder. I don't like that it is the shoulder. I kind of dig the stripe. It's a little more modern.
Yeah. I do like the numbers. I didn't realize the numbers had like that italicized like slant to them, and they have like the airy like Nike jersey like holes in them. I kind of like those, but I'm just not a fan of the color.
Yeah, the color, it makes it look like pajamas for me. So yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I hate yucking people's yums. Like I responded just with an emoji because I didn't want to, have it. I didn't have a strong response. I literally felt just like, oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And I know some people like them. I don't want to yuck anybody's yum. I thought they looked like PJs. And they're just like the stars on the collar. I didn't even notice for a while. And now that I can't see them, I think that's a little weird because it's like the only red. So, I'm not a big alternates guy. Love throwbacks. Cannot stand just these cash grab uniforms. Like that's the thing. That's why I'm so cynical. It's like, I see what you're doing. Right. Like this is not a sincere attempt at showing the team's history. I'm also so sick of these ugly uniforms and then the whole background of like, this is supposed to look like netting. Like, shut the fuck up, please. Oh my God. So, one thing when they pop off and you do all those, I'm like, okay, that is very cool.
Totally.
When it just is a bunch of nonsense, I'm like, I don't care that you thought this was cute or had some regional significance. Like, piss off. I don't like alternates. I don't like
well, that's kind of like, again, what they are going for, right? Like the MLB has their City Connects, the NBA has I forget what those ones are called, but they're similar where it's like they take the region's history and try and rope it into the uniform. And so like some of the other ones
did it well. Cardinals did it well. I thought those were fire. That's the thing. When it's done well, it's like, okay, like it looks good. The inspiration created this cool product. Awesome. But when you just have a bunch of elements that come together and don't vibe, it just comes off like you're doing too much. And I feel like that's 90% of what Nike's produced for the New Jersey.
Like the Cardinals was like the sandstorm shirt, which like the desert, and like I like that they have the Arizona flag on the side. Like that shit's cool. Even the 49ers one, like they have their old school font and it says like the faithful across the front, like the 49ers faithful, like that's something where
oh my God, that font is so good.
It is. And it's like the Patriots, it's just I get connecting it to like a nor'easter and the Boston Harbor, and the boat video was pretty cool.
The boat video was cool.
The video was cool. The uniform just wasn't there for me, and that's kind of unfortunate. I don't know what else they should have done, but I don't really like the color of it. It's kind of icky to me.
I want to see, how they do like the Rams where they show, but you can't see it. Then like, oh, that's fire. Mm-hmm. I want to see the video of the guys who see the uniform and go like,
oh yeah, I know.
Opposite, where guys are like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of trash. Right. We're never gonna get those. But I would kill for the other cut of people just being like, I don't want to wear this, but keep this out of the promo because
blooper one.
It's not good hype.
Right. So yeah, that's that. That's our spiel on the rivalry jerseys. Patriots will wear those, I believe, week 11 against the New York Jets. I think is when they're scheduled to do so.
Those Jets are.
Yeah, the Jets ones are gross too. I had them ranked 7th out of 8. They kind of looked like it's a worse color green than those Color Rush ones, but then they're also kind of remind me of like they're all black alternates. It's like I feel like the Jets have worn those so many times before, and it just doesn't look good.
They look gray. Like I had to look really close to be like, is that even green? Like I don't know. Yeah, but I kind of dig the sewer grate kind of thing. Like I like the idea. That. Yeah, I thought that was cool. But yeah, I thought they looked so ugly.
Yeah, not great. So, but yeah, that's the NFL spin on the City Connections, the rivalry jerseys. There's 8 of them. I'll plug myself again if you want to check out all 8 of them. I wrote about it and ranked them on SportsIllustrated.com today. So head over to my author page to check that out. But besides that,
week 5. Oh, somebody said it's week 5 versus the Bills. I thought it was later.
Oh, it's week 5.
Oh, let's see. What are they called?
I thought the Bills were wearing them week 5 against us. But we're not wearing them on the road because you're supposed to wear them at home, I think, according to the league.
Okay, so we don't have to see the Jets jersey. So
correct, yeah, I think that's how it goes. I don't think they clash against each other, but who knows? There's weird rules, but it's a new thing they're doing. I think they're rolling it out every couple years with each team. The Pats have to wear them at least once over the next 3 years. So we'll get our Nike rivalries at some point at Gillette Stadium this season. That strange light blue.
Please, jeez, I have to look at these once a year.
Yep. So
first world problems.
But on that note, let's get to the mailbag. We'll talk about football finally. Taylor, I got some creativity out of you there. I got some kind of real
too. Good stuff. My mom called me, so I have to prove that I'm working right now.
Okay. Everyone smile. All right, well, let's get to some fun. Patriots cut down to 53 players, as we know. They bring in Tommy DeVito and also a cornerback whose name is mistaken me right now because, frankly, DeVito's the one we truly care about. But they get rid of Javon Baker and Kendrick Bourne. The Bourne one made sense. We talked about it on the show that it didn't feel like he was long for this Patriots team anyway. Baker, a little bit more surprising. But I don't know. I think his waiver claim is supposed to go through, within the next hour. So if he doesn't get claimed
at 4:00,
I assume he'll be back on the practice squad. So we'll wait out that. But on the wide receiver room in general, our first question here in the mailbag is from Jonathan. And he asks, if the Patriots were to trade for Jacoby Myers, who do you think would get bounced out of the receiving rotation?
The only way I see it working is if you trade Diggs somewhere. Yeah. And I think that is such a significant move. Like I was thinking about this. I was talking to Brian. How often has a player who's been in like a ton of the team's preseason marketing isn't on the team by like midseason? Like I'm not saying
they've used Diggs. They really have.
Exactly. And like I'm not saying they can't trade the guy because of that. That'd be stupid. But that's a significant move. The amount of backlash that I think it would cause, I don't know. Unless we've said this before, unless you really think that Diggs is going to be a problem somehow, which we have not gotten that indication at all. Unless you think that's the case, there is not enough of a difference that Jacoby Myers brings for you to get rid of him. Like what? You can't get rid of Pop unless Drake throwing to Pop is so inconsistent because of Drake's accuracy. Like I've been very consistent. It's nothing against Pop. Sure. I think Pop is putting himself in position to have a monster season relative to what we've seen from him. But Drake has, had his high misses and some of the kind of scatters where you're like, where exactly was that going? Was he throwing that away or did it just sail? So unless you think Diggs as, an off-field personality or DeMario Douglas's height are massive issues, it does not make sense to acquire Jacoby Myers when he's 29 and he needs a new contract. I just don't, or is 2029, whatever. I just don't get the logic. So that's who it would be because like Mac Hollins isn't getting paid that much. Like you gave him some money, but it's not so much that you boot him and it's like, oh, Jacoby Myers. you're about to pay Jacoby like $20 million a year to be a rotational player. Or you're not. And like Kayshon Boutte, I don't think he's better than Boutte.
No.
And I think Boutte plays a different position, has been really good this summer. So that's why I kind of, when the news was announced, I was excited. Like, oh, Jacoby's available. That's really cool. But then you kind of think about it more and you're like, it does not make sense. His skill set is even Efton Chisholm. I know we're going to get to that. People asking how he's going to get snaps. I like him. I think he will earn them, but his skill set is also redundant in a way that may make it hard for him to get snaps unless somebody goes down. So yeah, the Jacoby thing doesn't make sense to me unless you're moving on from Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. When I first saw it come across the ticker, and I wrote a couple trade destinations for him as well on SI the other day. And like one of them was the Patriots because the connection here, the way it ended, his connection to Josh, the fact that as soon as Josh went elsewhere, Jacoby was a free agent, he went back with him. Like there is something there. But again, and I'm looking and I'm sourcing our buddy Mark Daniels from Mass Live, who you look at the training camp targets from Drake Maye in team drills. Mark charted all of them. Demario Douglas was his first target, his number one target with 25 catches. Second was Stephon Diggs. So,
which is why
yeah,
Pop is not a flex. He is not a gadget player.
No,
he has been their best receiver all summer.
Right.
And also the messaging to the team. Like I think Mike Vrabel or somebody acknowledged that like that is a factor when you make roster moves. I forget who it was. Maybe it was Elliot Wolf. But either way, like those things matter. For you to tell Pop, get out of here. We're gonna get somebody who's like 5 years older than you.
Right.
And isn't it like that would send a really bad message? So again, and Diggs is a guy who's been a leader. He's breaking down the huddle. If you trade him, you have to have some explanation in the locker room. And I just don't think Jacoby is the caliber player that warrants starting all this Michigas when you just went through an entire offseason program with the receiving core that exceeded expectation.
Yeah.
Like Diggs is way ahead of schedule. Kayshon Boutte had his most consistent summer. Pop looks, I kind of tweeted this last night, but like Pop looks explosive out of the slot. Mac Hollins is really starting to build a chemistry with Drake Maye. And the young guys are probably going to have roles. So it's receiver. I know Matt lacks an alpha. Mm-hmm. And before training camp in the summer, it was the position group that everybody was worried about as well as offensive line. I do not see receiver as this like glaring weak spot. I think they need their true number one. And then that room is like, oh, damn, like they're kind of cooking with gas here. But like it's the kind of room where with a coordinator like Josh McDaniels and with the quarterback like Drake, who is not trying to feed anybody targets. Like he said when he was asked about Stephon Diggs, he's like, if he's open, I'll throw it to him.
Right.
But he's not going to, get bullied into throwing to anybody. So with that kind of quarterback, I think this receiving core this season, given the circumstances, is fine. But obviously, I mean, if you can get an alpha, do it.
And I think your point about the using Diggs in marketing is worth, like, it makes sense because, they don't just, the social team and the PR people, like, they don't just pull people just to, like, they won't just take Stephon Diggs because it's Stephon Diggs. They'll go to the team and be like, look, who should we pick for the jersey unveil? And they say Drake Maye, Christian Gonzalez, Marcus Jones.
Marcus Jones was a very interesting one.
Yeah.
All pro to be, wasn't he all pro or Pro Bowler?
I don't know if he was an all pro returner at one point, I believe.
Okay. Was it? I wasn't sure if he was an all pro or Pro Bowler.
Yeah. Like Henry and Schooler. And so it's like Stephon Diggs isn't just going to get shipped out of here. Like they're using him as a pillar of this team, which is actually why I want to pull up this question. Who are your picks for the Patriots captains this year? Because I think the obvious ones are Drake Maye, Hunter Henry, Brendan.
He won the Ron Burton Community Service Award, I believe. Congratulations.
That was awesome. Yep, he won that last night. So shout out Hunter Henry for that. But on offense, I think it's Drake. I think it's Hunter. And like Taylor, call me crazy, but could Stephon Diggs be a captain for this team after this whole summer? You mentioned breaking down the huddle. You mentioned being first in line, being sort of a player this team wants to market. And I know that it's been a kind of choppy up and down off season, but like I even look at last year, he goes to Houston and was the old head, for lack of a better term, in the room with Nico Collins and Tank Dell. And they voted Stephon Diggs a captain last year too. I think these guys on this team gravitate towards him. It wouldn't shock me if Diggs was someone who ended up a captain after it's all said and done. And then defensively, we'll count Brendan Schooler in there. I think Robert Spillane has a good case, and maybe Jarrell Peppers. But what's your thoughts on captains and specifically Diggs? Do you think he has a shot at being named one?
So Diggs, I do. If I had to guess, I looked the last time I looked at the Titans in 2023, they had 7 captains. They had Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, Kevin Byard, Jeffrey Simmons, Azeez Al-Shaair, Aaron Brewer, and Morgan Cox. So they had 3 offensive players, 3 defenders, and a special teams guy.
Okay.
Offensively, do you think Diggs could get it over Hunter?
Who would be your third, or who would be your
Morgan Moses?
Oh,
especially like in the locker room today, like Morgan Moses is the ringleader of the entire offense. It's like because Mike and Wendy was a very quiet guy.
Yeah,
he's never really been the guy everyone gravitates to necessarily. Nothing wrong with that. Like some guys,
yes,
some don't.
Christian Gonzalez is like that in the cornerback room.
Exactly, but like the offensive line hasn't really. Oh, David Andrews obviously has been that guy in his own way.
Right.
He was a captain. Morgan Moses is very obviously that guy this year. And considering how much everybody respects him, I think he's going to be one of the
That's
captains.
A good point. So at that point, I would probably lean Hunter Henry over Diggs if we're going 3-3.
Like Diggs again, he's breaking down the huddle.
I know.
He leads the receivers. Like, so let me go through all of them, and we'll kind of go through. So if I had to pick 3 offensive guys, Maye, Moses, Henry/Diggs.
Okay.
Defense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Defense, Robert Spillane, almost a lock, I think. Jalen Hawkins, I think sneaky, is going to be a captain. He's participated as long as he possibly could going back to the spring. He is a starter in this defense. And I think communicatively, like he is a leader. And I think he has more respect than people maybe expect. So I think he's going to be a sneaky captain. Okay. Defensive line, maybe Harold Landry. I think that makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
As the guy who sets the standard. I don't know if he's necessarily outspoken enough to be a captain. Was he a captain for the Titans ever? Let me see.
I feel like I would just kind of assume so. He kind of felt like one of their top leaders.
Was a captain. Oh no, that was a Patriots article. Actually, my bad. I don't know that he ever was a captain with the Titans. Not that I'm seeing. Yeah, I don't think he was.
Yeah, and maybe not.
He's just not that loudest guy, so I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't. I'm trying to think of a defensive lineman who'd get it. They're all kind of.
I feel like Milton Williams is too quiet.
Yeah, they're kind of like go about business type of dudes.
Yeah.
Maybe they have 4 offensive captains. I feel like that'd be a lot. So I'm not stuck on that. But
what about Peppers?
I think he's missed a lot of time.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, if he was, that would. If I had to pick 3, it would be Peppers for sure. Because I just don't see anybody else really like being that guy necessarily. And then my last one would be Schooler. I think this is the
100%.
Yeah, he's got to. There's literally Bryce isn't really that kind of personality. Like Schooler has talked about for 2 years wanting to be a captain. So yeah, I would say Drake Maye, Morgan Moses. Man, Diggs and Hunter Henry is really tough. One of those guys, Spillane, Hawkins, Peppers, Brendan Schooler.
What about people in the chat saying Mac Hollins? What do you think of that? He's one of those guys. I just don't see it. Yeah,
like you have to be a starter, I think, to be a captain.
Yeah.
Like, when have we ever seen a role player be a captain?
True. All right. Well, on the receiver front, I know I touched on a little bit off the top, but I missed yesterday's crossover, so I'm sure you guys talked about it. But thoughts on the way they handle the wide receiver room with the 8 guys and now 6? I think I'll answer at least the first part. I think carrying Bourne was fairly obvious. They thought they had to deal with Minnesota. They had to keep him on the roster. They weren't going to cut him. They thought they were getting something back for him. Once that falls through, Thielen goes to Minnesota. They didn't really want to keep Bourne, and they ended up cutting him because they weren't able to trade him. As far as as far as Javon Baker, want to get your take on that. Why do you think they kept him at first? Do you think he was truly the last guy on? And the cornerback that they brought in on waivers, what's his name? I haven't been paying enough attention. Who's the new corner?
The defensive tackles?
No, the one they claimed with DeVito. They claimed a corner.
Charles Woods.
Charles Woods, thank you. Woods is also a special teamer. He can play as a gunner. So what do you make of that versus Javon Baker? And do you think that Baker still has a role on this team?
I think you nailed it. Kendrick Bourne, they thought they were going to trade him to Minnesota. Whether or not they could have traded him to San Francisco, I think is an interesting question because it's very obvious. Like that connection is, we talked about it. Like if Kendrick Bourne gets traded, it's probably to Minnesota or going back to San Francisco. But this team also, like, what would they've gotten? A 7th round pick. And this team's made it very clear, like, we're not going to be petty and hold on to guys and like force trades if all we're getting is a 7th back. Maybe they just wanted to give him an opportunity to go out there, maybe get himself a new deal. I don't know. But I'm really not too upset that they didn't trade him. That's kind of been their modus operandi. And as much as his fans and people who play Madden, everybody wants to be like, oh, like what? You could have gotten value. It's not that serious, guys.
Sure.
You know, you can say every draft pick is valuable, but relationships also matter. And again, you're sending a message. Like if you're a guy who's been on this team for 3 or 4 years, like we're not going to hold you hostage and force you to be a part of a deal, which I'm fine with until it really, if it ever bites him in the butt and it's like, you could have gotten a 4th. That's bad. We're like the Joe Milton conversation. People thought they were going to get a 4th. They were never, ever getting a 4th for a guy who was like 25 or older. And then Javon Baker, I think that we know they like him. And I tweeted, if you're a special teamer, you're always going to be at the bottom of the roster unless you're Brendan Schooler. Like if your only contributions are on special teams, unless you're making Pro Bowls or All Pros or clearly are one of the best in the league, you will always be a cut candidate. And that's what Javon was, but he did earn that initial 53-man roster spot because of what he did on special teams. But then Charles Woods is on the board. I think that was the reason that they wound up moving on, was because they said, oh, we have an experienced gunner, all these things. Maybe they want to keep Javon on the practice squad, see if he can continue to develop, maybe how he looks in a different setting, elevate him maybe once or twice and see if he's good enough. And it's like, okay, we can rely on him every week versus kind of experimenting because he still hasn't done a lot of special teams work against starters. So I don't think there's a whole lot to it. Again, I think the past 24 hours have given us a lot of context where Kendrick Bourne was on his way out either way. And Javon Baker, we know that they like him. I guess the only question mark is he going to 100% clear waivers and end up back on the practice squad?
So I was kind of just on the waivers conversation. It doesn't really necessarily have to do with Baker, but I was kind of nervous about Braden Swinson getting claimed yesterday just because, 5th round pick, team could take a shot on him, yada, yada, yada. I think like 20 something players were claimed yesterday out of the thousands that were cut. So like, I feel like teams kind of understand that and then realize we're probably going to be able to get this guy back on our practice squad. So, like, I'm not too concerned about Javon Baker getting claimed. Now, a team could take a shot. You never know. But he hasn't put enough on tape to really warrant one.
If you're looking at his receiver tape, you're like, yikes.
So I would kind of assume he's just going to be able to come back if he wants to on the practice squad. And I think that's probably where we're looking at right now. Because, again, I think that there's a mutual respect between him and Vrabel, mutual understanding as well as what his role is. If he can, like you said, develop as a better wide receiver in the background, that adds more value to him as a roster spot with a special team or yada, yada, yada. So,
they also needed more depth at corner than they needed at wide receiver.
100%. Yep. So,
which might be a good segue.
Yeah. To Chisholm. You want to talk Chisholm?
Gonzo. Wasn't there a Gonzo question?
There is. I just have to find it. Here we go. Good point. I'm not on my game with our transitions. New Royal Rooters. Should we be worried about Christian Gonzalez's health and readiness at this point? Or did they truly just shelve him, Taylor? Because wasn't at practice today either. Do you think there's something there? Or do you think he's going to be ready for week 1?
So I've made 2 different radio appearances where I was asked about Gonzo, whether he's, fragile, injury prone or whatever. I would not go as far as to say he's fragile. Like the first year was kind of a freak injury. Then last year he had a concussion. Like, yeah, very different things. It's not like Amendola where it kind of felt like a bone thing. It just was a lot of little things that felt like maybe his body just isn't meant to hold up. I don't think we've seen that from Christian Gonzalez yet. But with this specific injury, I'm a bit concerned because you'd figure he would have been at practice this week. Like once the cuts for everything, he starts ramping up a little bit. Maybe we see him next week and all of this goes away, kind of like the Jalen Polk discussion, where we think the timeline might be one thing. For them, it's something else. So if he's at practice next week, obviously all of this goes away. But I am at the point where I am getting concerned because I thought that we would have seen Christian Gonzalez by now. Now, we don't have a lot of information. We know it's a hamstring. He's been at practice. It's not like he looks any worse for wear or anything like that. If you didn't know any better and you just saw him walking around, I don't think you know he was injured at all. So I'm not hitting a panic button, but I'm definitely, it's starting to creep up. Like, all right, what is going on? Is this bubble wrap? Or, is this something that may linger into the regular season, which is why I think partially. Now, to be fair, Charles Woods plays slot, But also Marcus Jones played outside when Carlton Davis and Gonzo were out. So it's not like we can't see some world where Charles Woods doesn't just play special teams. He also maybe contributes as a depth player on defense. And then Alex Austin's the backup slot. Like Woods is still there right now as their sixth corner.
Right.
And he's going to stay there. But yeah, I am a bit worried about Christian Gonzalez because I expected to at least see him at practice, and he's at practice. He's in street clothes, so when does the ramp-up period begin? I don't know. Because even Vrabel said, like, there's a difference between being in shape and being in football shape.
Right.
He hasn't played in a long time. So cornerback, like, you're doing a lot of running. And I understand that Christian Gonzalez comes from just an insanely athletic family. I will never doubt the man, but it's concerning. At the very least, it is concerning.
Yeah, I think I'm getting concerned there too. There's something there. It hasn't happened yet. He hasn't been out there. Again, we'll see what happens. I think the concern level on a scale of 1 to 10 right now is about a 5. If he's not out there next week, I would say we're closer to
something is clearly wrong.
A 7 or 8, because you need to be there for game week. I know towards the end of the season, guys show up on a Wednesday, maybe even a Thursday, and can get back to it. But we're getting to the point where it's starting to get concerning. So.
And there was a padded practice this week, so it's not even like, oh, it's a walkthrough, it doesn't matter. They were competitive. So again,
I wonder if he's probably not tracking for week 1 here, but we'll see how it goes. I think if there was more concern, they probably would have placed him on injured reserve to make room for some of these other guys. But again, we'll wait and see, and we'll put the alarm bells up.
And I also wonder. I don't think this is why. I don't think they would just hold him out of a game. But if he had to miss a game, I don't mind it being the Raiders.
Yeah.
Because they have the ghost of Amari Cooper, Dante Thornton, who's a rookie, Trey Tucker, who's fast, but not notable necessarily. And even if Jacoby Myers plays, my plan, kind of sneak peeks what my preview is going to be next week, but I think you should put Gonzo on Brock Bowers because no one else in that wide receiver room scares me. Could guys move the chains for sure, but explosive plays, put Carlton Davis on Dante Thornton, another vertical player who really only goes in a straight line, doesn't do a whole lot else, is very inexperienced as a route runner. Alex Austin, I'd be pretty comfortable if he was covering Jacoby Myers. And I think Marcus Jones and Trey Tucker, that's a perfect match right there.
Totally.
So, Gonzo is a bonus if you have him week 1. Obviously, he's a bonus every week, having to shut down corner of his caliber. But my last thing on him is if he did have to miss a game, I wouldn't mind it being week 1.
I have to I'm with you. I agree. They don't have a good receiver core. If they end up trading Jacoby Myers, it's going to get even worse. I don't have I keep getting freaking notifications, and I'm trying to pull up Prize Picks at the same time. But do you hear that knocking?
Yeah, I hear it.
Okay, it's right in my microphone, and I can't turn off my. Hold on, let's try this. There we go. All right. Well, I'm with you on Gonzo. I'm starting to get worried, and I have a strong feeling at this point that there's something that we don't know, and maybe there's something going on. But again, we'll see. I think things would have changed with the 53-man roster if they were that more serious. But let's talk about our friends over at Prize Picks. Then we will wrap up the mailbag here, and then we'll also head over to Discord and answer your questions over there. But first, let's talk about Prize Picks. Is this my
CLNS Media is?
That's wrong. Here we go. Prize Picks is the best place to get in on the action today. As you know, this episode and all of our Patriots Daily episodes are brought to you by Prize Picks. Preseason football just closed up. College football is here starting tonight, and you don't want to miss out on the action this season. And do it with our friends over at Prize Picks. Saquon Barkley, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, the best players always available to put in your lineups on Prize Picks. And it is simple to play. All you got to do is pick more or less on at least 2 to 6 player projections. And if you get your picks right, you can win cash up to 2,000 times your money. That is 2,000 times your money. And Prize Picks always puts their members first. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And they offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. So if you want to get on the action with us, do us a favor and download the app and use code CLNS. And you get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. That's a cat.
You hear?
I do, but that's okay.
Oh
We have cats. We have Slack notifications. No dogs in here today, but We're getting our bearings before we start up the regular season here next week.
You'd swear I'm a bad dad. Anytime I don't give her attention, she just.
Well, now they're not allowed up here, right? Because of the new studio.
No, because this damn So she is getting her a little separation anxiety.
That's okay. We'll be out of here soon enough. Couple more questions.
Just kidding.
Let's see. We talked about Gonzo. We talked about Diggs. We talked about captains. I'll ask you a pretty generic one, Taylor. But new offense. It's Drake Maye. Everyone wants to talk about. Everyone wants to know. What is his ceiling this year? Not like prediction, but like if he can hit the top of your sort of high-end expectations, what do those look like for him?
I think he's a guy that gets like a couple Pro Bowl votes, like ones that are more out of respect. I don't think he's going to take them necessarily from Joe Burrow, from Lamar Jackson, from Patrick Mahomes. Like this conference is just stacked with good quarterbacks, and that's always something to remember that is important. That doesn't mean you're not playing very good ball. And usually, like if a guy is just making the most out of a decent situation, which is what I think the Patriots are right now, where like the receiving core is pretty good. Mm-hmm. And it's one that I think you can win with each week, as long as, the quarterback is going to have to do some heavy lifting there. But yeah, I think he gets a couple Pro Bowl votes, and I don't like to do stats because I think that's just so arbitrary. But I do think that there's going to be some inaccuracy. We're going to have to live with that. There's going to be growing pains early on, but you would hope that around midseason he starts getting comfortable, knowing what he's going to be seeing on a weekly basis. Josh is able to give him plans, and then he's able to make the most of those. Because I'm very high on what Drake can be with Josh.
Yep.
But it's just hard to know right now. It really is. Even though I think they've been better in recent weeks, we still don't know. So I think if he really takes a big step forward, then yeah, he'll be, I think, considered one of the better quarterbacks in the AFC. And then maybe next year, if you get like a true wide receiver one, that's where it's like, okay, maybe Drake could sneak into, that top 8 in the AFC conversation with a good year. Maybe he is actually a guy that could win a Pro Bowl nod, but, we're not there yet. And I still think that as someone who was very excited, I want to pump the brakes on myself because we saw flashes of like, yeah, this could be problematic. And this could be something that we don't know how long it takes to get fixed. But Drake's also a really smart dude. He takes to coaching. Everyone has said that. We've seen it. So, I still have hope that he can have a very notable season. But, there's a smidge of doubt because of some of the things that crept up in the summer.
Where are you on a guy like Trevor Lawrence in his career right now in the AFC?
Not good.
You're not a Trevor Lawrence guy at all?
You read a defense. And he's inaccurate. Like, I don't know why. I mean, the money is deceitful. He's not making nearly as much money as it seems like he is, but I don't care. Like, and Jacksonville's also in a weird situation where they're not bad enough to do anything about getting a new quarterback, which is just, again, that's a hell I don't want to be in, where you are never bad enough to get yourself a good quarterback and have to keep paying guys. Because it's like, well, who else are we going to get? Like, oh, God, never. But yeah, I'm off Trevor Lawrence.
And the reason I ask is because I'm working on a story for SI where I'm ranking the starting quarterbacks in the NFL that are 25 years old and under. And Trevor Lawrence is still 25 years old, which is shocking to me because he's entering year 5. Yeah. He's the same age as Bo Nix. He's the same age as, I think he's a year older than Jaden Daniels. So he's still young. And I had him and Drake right near each other right now because of where Drake is versus where Trevor is. And I kind of see him having like a Trevor Lawrence a year, but Trevor Lawrence's good year, right? It was 2022, his second season. They make the playoffs. He looks like he has command of the system where it's not perfect, but I think he can play, relatively good football. And so I think that's his sort of his middle ground. And I think the ceiling is obviously, passing that and getting closer to like a rookie year. CJ Stroud's even pretty high because he was just awesome right off the bat. But like I have him, Trevor, and Drake right near each other in this ranking right now, and it's not going to be final till Sunday. But I don't think it's going to be all pro status just yet. But I do think that he's going to be comfortable in the in Josh's system and be able to kind of hit the ground running. You're looking something up, and I need to know what it is.
Yeah. So, actually, Trevor did miss a lot of time, so he had fewer games. Actually, let me see if I can get some better, more helpful stats in here. But it looks like they produced at a pretty similar level. They had almost the same number of turnover-worthy plays. Drake had 2 more than Trevor, and he had 1 more big-time throw. Okay. Damn it, this table is being weird for me for a second. Let me see.
And they played roughly the same amount of games, too, because Lawrence missed the last 6, and I think Drake missed the first 5 or so.
he didn't play he didn't start till week 6.
Yeah, and then he missed 2 games. He missed the last game with Milton, and then he also missed most of that Jets game due to injury. So
right, I can't find the damn. Oh my god, this chart got so much more. Oh, okay, so turnover-worthy play percentage. Actually, Trevor Lawrence was higher. He had a 4.1% turnover-worthy play rate. Drake had 3.5. Big time throws. Trevor was 0.5% higher than Drake, which, given their situations, is insane.
yeah,
I know the Jaguars didn't have a run game. I know that there were a lot of other issues, but I think that kind of tells you what Drake May could look like if he got better in a more stable system with a good offensive coordinator versus Trevor, who hasn't had a ton of support in his career,
right?
But also was touted as being this guy who was much more pro ready and this generational prospect. And again, the guy cannot read a defense,
right?
And his accuracy to this point in his career is still very scattershot. So yeah, I think Drake is going to be a better player, I think, this year.
And when you think about it this way too, going back to this ranking I'm doing, Trevor is in year 5, new offensive coordinator, make or break season pretty much, where Drake is still growing and learning. Into, at least in my opinion, I think they're relatively close to each other in this under 25 list. I think that's a decent barometer for right now. But we'll do one more question before we head over to the Discord. We kind of went long here, but yeah, actually, let's do 2 more questions. So I'll ask you this one quickly because we talked about it earlier. Do you think Efton Chisholm simply a depth piece, or could he split time with Pop in the slot? Where do you look at his sort of development now versus the end of the season? Is he going to take anything away from Pop, or is this, simply a depth guy behind the rest of these slot players?
I think because Kyle Williams and Efton Chisholm are both the young guys in a veteran-heavy room. I think Kyle Williams' skill set is different enough where he can truly be mixed into the rotation, and they will want him to because he brings an element they do not have, the speed and the explosiveness. Efton doesn't really bring anything unique. It's more that he seems like a guy who's going to be hyper reliable and is a young player you want to keep developing. So I think that his snaps are more going to come if somebody gets hurt. Maybe if he just is more consistent in practice, he earns an activation or something like that. If Marcus Jones goes down, he's the punt returner. You find some gadgety stuff for him to do. But I just think that Kyle Williams will be more of a true rotational player.
I agree with that.
I think Efton probably is depth this year, kind of like Julian Edelman, right? But even harder because he at least got to – actually, did he return punts immediately? Was he a punt returner?
I know he did I don't know if it was West. All I'm thinking of is the Wally Pipp video. That was his rookie year. He was out there, but I don't know if it translated to the regular season. I
didn't even watch football then. So in my defense, I literally have no idea. But similar, where Julian didn't play a ton. They kind of mixed him in when they could. That's kind of what I see it being with Efton, just because I think he's a good player, but a lot of other guys are chain movers who are smart and have great hands and things like that. That's what you're hoping Diggs is, Pop is. And I don't think he's going to split with Pop. I think they want Pop on the field as much as they can get him there. But again, yeah, I think he's more going to be a depth piece this year. Maybe next year continues to grow with Drake May, and then we see him kind of seize a bigger role in the offense.
Jules only returned 6 punts as a rookie, and
okay, so there you
turned into the starter his sophomore season. He actually, I kind of forgot about this, but he had almost 400 yards receiving as a rookie, and then dipped the second 2 years, only at 86 and 34.
Why was he playing?
Did West get hurt one year? 2009
West
or maybe
ACL in 2009. Is it? And didn't Jules pop off in a playoff game or something? It was one of the last games. They were in NRG, was it, when he tore his ACL?
Yeah, and then that was the last week. So maybe I don't know. Long story short, Jules had a decent rookie year, then fell off for 3 years, and then came back with a 1,000-yard season in 2013.
Give me a game log because I want to see.
Yeah.
In 2009, because I feel like he did have a good playoff game, and that was when they kind of had the first game of the year.
Oh, he had 2 touchdowns, two touchdowns as a rookie in the playoffs.
There you go. Oh God,
6 catches for 44 yards in the Ray Rice game.
Yeah, and then in the Texans game, he had 10 targets, 10 catches for 130 yards. Yeah, so I think that was when West went down.
West went down. Yeah, totally. Yep, that's right.
Damn, look at me. I wouldn't even
pretty good for someone who wasn't watching football.
Thank you, football life.
All right, yeah, seriously. All right, I want to throw this last one up. Our friend Matt St. Jean over at the night show here on CLNS threw this in, and I'm curious your take on it. With Jake Andrews being the top center in Houston, so the Pats have not let that guy go. Did they give up on Jake Andrews from Troy a little bit too early?
It's tough because like we just saw so little from him.
And Houston's offensive line stinks too, by the way.
Is Juice Scruggs hurt? Is he playing guard?
Still there. He might be playing guard.
We'll figure it out. Juice. He's a backup guard. Damn. They have Ariante Ursary, Laken Tomlinson, Jake Andrews, Ed Ingram, and Titus Howard. When did they cut Jake Andrews, actually? Let me see.
I think he was here for most of last season, right?
It's also crazy because he and Jack Conley look very similar. So when I just saw the picture on Google, I was like, wait a minute, I just saw that guy today. He and Jack Conley look very, very similar. He was released in April.
Interesting. So it's like,
yeah, new regime. Yeah, but even still, if you didn't know about,
it's kind of late for the offseason.
So maybe probably not. You know, like you signed Wes Schweitzer, he's supposed to give you center depth. I struggle to say that they should regret. It reminds me, not the same because they literally could not have rostered Hajalte Froholt, but it's kind of like that, where the guy has no proven track record, so you cut him and you don't really think much of it, and then he catches on with another team, which is awesome. But yeah, Jake was very unproven, and I think this regime was like, we want to get our own guys and draft the center, which is why I have a little bit of trouble giving them crap for not taking a better center, because at least they addressed it and showed that it was clearly something that they thought was an issue. So we could definitely critique them as much as we want, but if we're talking about the vision for the team, I think they were just like, I have no loyalty to this guy. I don't even know who Jake Andrews is. I've never seen him play. So let's just move on, give him another chance somewhere else, because it's coming off it was a whole season he missed because of injury, right?
The whole year.
So I get it. I understand it.
I get the second guessing, but I'm with you. Like they wanted to rid themselves, right? They wiped their hands clean of David Andrews, rid of Jake Andrews. Like you mentioned it, draft Jared Wilson. They have a long-term plan at center, it feels like, with him. And while the stopgap in Garrett Bradbury obviously hasn't been great, I don't think Jake Andrews would have been long for this world here anyway. So, all right, that's going to do it for the mailbag edition of the podcast. We are going to head over to Discord right now. So if you haven't already, join our Discord server. CLNSmedia.com/Discord will bring you there. Hop in and join the Patriots Daily Stage. And if you're a Patriots Press Pass member, make sure you drop your username here in the chat, and we will add you to the Discord channel and allow you to ask us questions as members. Members only can take the stage with me and Taylor and ask us some more Patriots questions. So head over there right now, and we will meet you there. Appreciate you guys joining us here on the pod, as always. Patriots have a long weekend, which means we have a long weekend. So we'll be back Monday, though, as we always are. Don't know why I'm slapping my thighs as I talk to you guys about this. I don't know if you could hear that clapping, but I
heard it. I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, that was me, just getting us ready, getting us geared up. But yeah, we'll be back Monday, and it's game week. Patriots versus Raiders coming up following Sunday, and we'll be back on a normal schedule here on Patriots Daily. So as always, rate, review, subscribe to the show. Rate, review, subscribe to the channel. Taylor's got something as well that he wants to throw in here at the end. Go ahead.
Also, we're going to get back on schedule with videos and stuff like that. I'm going to try to do a breakdown. Tuesday is when we're thinking of doing the actual film breakdown day where we have something out for you. So in this comment section, you could also tweet at me. If you are a member, let me know what you want to see, because I want to make sure I'm catering to you. So if you're here, put in the chat, comment on the video, whatever it is. Members, let us know what you want to see so I can get a head start and make that for you guys.
I'm laughing at that. I was looking for the chat to see if anyone said anything. I was just talking about me hitting my legs. Sorry. Oh, that's funny.
Abort.
But seriously, again, back on schedule. Taylor's going to get the member stuff going here on the channel as well. So any suggestions, any comments, any critiques, throw them our way, and we'll get you guys what you want here on the channel. So again, Discord right now, but that's our mailbag edition of the show today. So rate, review, subscribe to the channel as always. And until next time, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And we will see you next time here. Peace out, everyone.